What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with a special edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. What makes it special? You'll find out in just a little bit. And tonight! Okay, making their debut on the channel tonight. We have Steam Powered Giraffe. Yes indeed, how about that? Steam Powered Giraffe making their debut on the channel. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to doing all the clicks and the likes and the bibbidi bop, do me a favor, before you do all that stuff, please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from Bethany Thompson. This is where we're getting the special request from. Today, March 24th, today is Bethany's birthday. So yes, indeed, happy birthday, Bethany. Bethany wanted to do something special for her birthday, and this is what she wanted to do. So we talked about it, made some arrangements, and here we are. So yes, happy birthday, Bethany. I hope you enjoy the show. Bethany wanted to see me react to this. It is Steam Powered Giraffe with a song called Honeybee.
Weasel snagged the bee.
Now, have I heard the song before? No, I have not. To the best of my knowledge, this does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard the song in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, wait a second, I recognize this song, I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This was posted by Steam Powered Giraffe, okay? And the video has 372,000 views. It'll get you there. Before we go any further, if you all could do me a big favor, because this is Bethany's birthday today, do me a favor, guys, and do her a favor as well. Y'all just write a little nice happy birthday message to Bethany down in the comments. That'd be really cool. I know I would appreciate it. I'm sure she would appreciate it as well. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Steam Powered Giraffe, Honeybee, live at the Walter Robotics Expo in San Diego. Walter Robotics. Why was a band performing at the Walter Robotics Expo? No idea. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
Give us the universal key of love. There was a time I was in love, and all the angels and the devils couldn't make her say, I love you. You didn't have to look my way. Your eyes still haunt me to this day, but you did. Yes, you did. You didn't have to say my name, ignite my circus and start a flame, but you did. Oh, turpins, erase me home, 'cause you don't want to leave my life alone. Set me free, my only smile at me. Oh no, your grin's the sweetest that I've ever seen. But you did, yes you did. You didn't have to offer your hand. No, since I've kissed it, I'm at your command. But you did. Oh, turpentine, erase me home, 'cause I don't want to live my life alone. Well, I was waiting for you all my life.
This has got to be one of the most interesting acts. One of the most interesting bands I think I've seen in a while. I know people have this negative stigma with the word gimmick, and I do not understand why. I don't understand why people think that using the word gimmick with a band or an artist or a group is a bad thing. Because guys, it makes the band stand out. It does. How many bands have you seen where they use makeup and prosthetics in a way to make them look like they're robots? How many bands can you say have done that? I can't think of it. I can't think of too many, to be honest with you. None come to mind. I think it's really cool. I do. And here's the thing. They don't rely on the gimmick. Their music and their vocal ability are just fine without the gimmick. They don't need the gimmick to make them passable. They can do that just fine. Like if there was no video, listen to this, I'd be pretty impressed with the vocal work as it is. But now they're going to utilize the gimmick to help them stand apart from every other band out there who may be doing a similar style of music. Let's say there's 1,000 other bands out there who stylistically sound just like these guys. You know, the guitar playing, the vocal ability, the songwriting, it's all very similar. These guys take this gimmick and it helps them stand apart from the crowd, so that it helps them get noticed. It makes them different. What's wrong with that? Nothing. Nothing at all. They're not relying on the gimmick to make them good. They're good on their own. Trust me. But the gimmick does help them stand apart from the pack. I don't have an issue with that. None. I think it's brilliant, personally. And their makeup is so well done. And their movements and motion on the stage, so well thought out and organized and choreographed to make it look like a robotic band. I'm going to touch more on that in just a little bit. There's a difference between having a robotic band versus a bunch of robots on the stage. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. Let's keep going here.
Set me free, my
Uh-oh, we have a breakdown.
Oh, it's cool. Oh, be careful with that one.
Be careful with that one. That was great.
nice to know you. How I find myself without you. That I'll never know. That I'll never know. I let myself go. I let myself go. Goodbye, I'm rather crazy, and I never thought I was crazy. But what do I know? What do I know? I let myself go. I let myself go. Only nice to know you. How I find myself. Hello, goodbye, I'm rather crazy. I never thought I would. Hello, goodbye, it was nice to know you. How I find myself. Hello, goodbye, I'm rather crazy. I never thought I was crazy.
Oh, not another breakdown. Oh, okay, that was okay. I don't know what to say. I'm honest with you, folks. I'm a little bit speechless.
You're putting me on.
There's a lot I gotta think about. There's a lot I have to take into account. And the goal for me is to take all of the things that I want to talk about and condense them into just a couple of things to discuss. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. This may be a long review. I'm just being honest with you, folks. We may be here for a while. So I'm going to do my best to condense and squeeze everything down to like maybe 3 or 4 things to talk about. But I don't know if that's going to work or not. Let me get my thoughts together. I'll see you in the review and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Steam Powered Giraffe with Honeybee. This was a special request for Bethany Thompson. And like I said earlier, today, March 24th, is Bethany's birthday. She wanted to do something special for herself on her birthday. This is what she wanted. So we talked, we made some arrangements, and we made this happen. So happy birthday, Bethany. I hope you enjoyed the show. And once again, guys, if you all could do me a favor and do something nice for Bethany, just leave her a nice little happy birthday message down in the comments. I'm sure she would really appreciate it. And I would appreciate it too. Okay, before we get to the score, we just have a couple of announcements we got to go over. I'm doing the announcements for every single video for the entire month of March. So if you've already watched one of the videos that pop up in the month of March, feel free to skip forward about 5 minutes and you'll be able to skip the announcements because you've already heard them. Announcement number 1, we are going back to the old scoring system. I've already implemented that beginning on March 1st. So we are back on the old scoring system. You guys let me know that's what you wanted. We had the poll, you all voted, and about 2/3 of the votes said yes, go back. So we're going back, and believe me when I say this, folks, I have absolutely no problem doing that. That is totally fine with me. One of the reasons that we are going back to the old scoring system was that a lot of people with the new scoring system of the 5 stars were concerned that we would have an oversaturation of 4-star ratings. There'd be too many bands, too many songs getting the rating of 4 stars. And guys, I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. I saw that problem myself, and I'm not disagreeing with you guys at all. Here's the thing though, the old scoring system had the exact same problem. If you go back and look at all of the scores I've given throughout the history of the entire channel, I would say roughly 2/3 of the scores that I've given have been between the range of 7.4 to 8.6. Now, I know a lot of people right now are doing the math in their heads and they're going, well, wait a minute, that's 13 different scores. That's a lot bigger than just one. you're absolutely right. It is a lot bigger than just one score. It's 13 different scores out of 100. That only gives you a 13% margin, which is a little bit smaller than the 20% margin you would have had with a 4-star rating out of 5. So it's a 13% margin, guys. It's a small margin. Now, I did say during the course of the live stream that we did to discuss the scoring system, I did say during that if we do go back to the old scoring system, I got no problem with it, but there's going to have to be some changes made to avoid the same problem. So here we are with the old scoring system, and I have already started making the changes. The changes are very simply this. I got to get tougher, I got to get harder, and I got to make it more difficult to get those higher scores of 7s, 8s, and 9s. And we got to refocus on making 5 the middle ground. 5 is the average. 5 is the middle ground for everybody to start at. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're Nightwish. I don't care if you're Love Bites. I don't care if you're Pearl Jam. I don't care if you're Nirvana. I don't care if you're Bandmate. I don't care if you're BTS. Everybody starts at 5. Everybody does. And you can move your score up or you can move your score down. But from now on, everybody starts at 5. Getting a 7, it's going to be a lot tougher now. Getting an 8 is going to be even harder. And I'm going to be honest with you, folks. Getting a 9 now, it's going to be pretty much impossible. If you get a 9 now, boy, did you ever earn it. So just please keep that in mind, guys, that when you hear me give your favorite band a 5, it's not a bad score. That means it's average, okay? That's number 1. Announcement number 2. The whole reason that I went to a 5-star scoring system was to make things a little bit easier and a little bit simpler to comprehend and internalize and interpret for people coming into the channel for the first time. And during the course of the live stream, people were saying and giving the suggestion of, well, why don't you give the numeric score and then why don't you give another score, give the star rating or whatever to reflect that score? I don't know why I didn't think of that before. Seriously, I have no idea. I'm not omnipotent. I'm not all-seeing and all-knowing, despite the fact that I sometimes try to act like I am. But guys, I'm not. I'm absolutely not. And sometimes I need a little help seeing the bigger picture. So to all of you that did attend the live stream and made that suggestion, thank you very much, because you really kind of opened my eyes and went, oh, there's more than one way to do this. So I am going to be giving my numeric score just like always, but I'm also going to be giving 3 other scores for a grand total of 4 different ways to give the exact same score. So we're going to have the old school numeric score. We're going to have a scale score where you'll have your great, really good, pretty good, okay, so forth and so on. We're also going to give a star rating. I'm going to keep the star system. And we're going to have 5 out of a possible 5 stars. And that will correlate with the numeric score that I'm going to give. And then I'm also going to give a letter grade for those people who just cannot seem to get their mindset out of elementary school. So, numeric score, scale grade, star rating, and a letter grade. Now, if you cannot internalize and interpret and be able to understand at least one of those 4 ways, then folks, I can't help you. I'm sorry. You might want to think about possibly going and checking out another channel, because I have a feeling this is not going to be the channel for you. So that's the announcements, guys. Let's move along to the score now. Let's hold off on the score for just a little bit. Let's talk about this, because guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I tried to condense everything I wanted to say, everything I wanted to talk about. I tried to condense it into as few things as possible, but I kind of succeeded, but not really. There's a lot to talk about here, guys. There is. First of all, let's talk about the simplest thing. Okay, let's talk about the easiest thing to talk about here. The song itself. Very well written. Now, I don't know if this is an original. It sounds like an original. It doesn't sound like a cover. It was very well written, very well constructed. A lot of really nice moving parts coming together, especially within the vocals. Some fantastic harmony work. Just outstanding harmony work, both from an execution standpoint and from a notational selection standpoint. Not always the typical triads. Sometimes quite often we had quite a few inverted chords. Really nice. Instead of putting the 5 on the top, we brought the 5 underneath. And sometimes we would put the 3rd underneath. I mean, we had a lot of great movement. Sometimes we were up in those inverted 4ths as well. I mean, it was just a lot of nice movement and motion within the chordal structure, or within the chordal progression. Really nice job. Great structures across the board from the chords. Musically, from a chordal selection standpoint, for the music, not the vocals, but from the music itself, very nice job. Very pleasing to the ear. Very reminiscent of like late 40s, early 50s country music. Maybe even going as up in the high end, maybe even the mid to late 50s country, but very reminiscent of that style, where the chords are being played, not even always percussion in those songs, but sometimes there is, but very much reliant within the vocals to carry the song. And this was absolutely reminiscent of that. Don't get me wrong, you heard the instruments just fine. The guitar you heard, bass you heard, drums you heard. The keyboards, when the keyboards were being played, you heard, but let's be honest, vocals were doing the legwork on this. They absolutely were. Everything instrumentally was just kind of being done to fill out the sound, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. Paying homage to the music of the past. On its own, the music I thought was really good, and I thought the vocal harmonies were also. I would dare say the vocal harmony work was great. Okay, you add on to that though. Let's call it a spade here. Okay, the gimmick. Now, I know a lot of people have a lot of negative feelings. They think there's a lot of negative context on that word gimmick. I'm sorry.
I respectfully disagree.
A gimmick, when used properly, will help you stand apart from every other band that sounds just like you. And I know everybody's like, oh, there's no band that sounds like this band. Really? Are you sure about that? Because I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of other bands that have the same approach from a musical writing standpoint, from a vocal standpoint. Maybe not together, but there's other bands that are going to sound like this. Look, nobody's original, okay? Nobody's original when it comes to songwriting. We're all thieves. We're all thieves. So if you want to stand out from the pack, you got to do something to make yourself stand apart. I'm going to go back to my old example of Kiss, okay? When Kiss was starting out, they sounded, and they still sound to this day, like a bunch of other bands that were very popular in that era, the early to mid 70s. Their sound, their style of playing was not unique in any way, shape, or form. They sounded very similar to bands that they were playing with. Ted Nugent, New York Dolls, Blue Oyster Cult. They had a lot of the same sounds, a lot of the same musical writing styles that these other bands had. So they needed something to make them stand apart. Enter the face paint, enter the costumes, enter the theatrics. All of a sudden, Kiss is an island unto its own. Same thing here. This band with their gimmick are an island onto themselves. I have never seen a band that looks like this. More importantly, I've never seen a band that looks like this that are so committed to this particular gimmick, okay? The makeup was absolutely on point. They looked mechanical. They absolutely did. And now I understand why they were playing at a robotics expo. It makes perfect sense. They look like robots. They didn't just look like robots. When they were on stage, they acted like robots, both from a band standpoint and as individuals. There were times where they would be doing individual things and they would be moving like robots, and that made perfect sense. But there were also a lot of times where they would move together and work in sync with each other and move like robots, perfectly placing their feet at the same time, moving their knees up as the exact same height, crossing the foot in front of the knee at the exact same angle. They got that nailed down pat. They looked exactly in sync. Almost as if they were programmed, hence the gimmick. That's so well executed, man. You gotta really commit if you're gonna do a gimmick like this, you have to really commit to the part, and you have to convince everybody that you yourself are not just a robot, but you gotta convince everybody that the entire band is a bunch of robots, except for the bass player and the drummer back there who looked and were dressed like they were mechanics, which came into play, and because I was starting to wonder about them, like why isn't the bass player dressed like a robot? And then the lead singer broke down. Here comes the bass player to come and repair him. And I was like, oh, now I get it. He's a mechanic. Okay, I get it now. Now the gimmick is complete. Not only do you have this performing group, but you have these humans, that are back there dressed up like repairmen, just in case something goes wrong during the show. Man, talk about a Chuck E. Cheese animatronic band come to life. I mean, that is absolutely perfect, man. It absolutely is. One of the best gimmicks and most original gimmicks that I have seen in a long, long time, and very entertaining to watch. And it absolutely makes the band stand apart from everybody else who sounds like them. But make no mistake, they have the gimmick. They utilize the gimmick. They don't rely on the gimmick. Their music, their singing, their vocals, their songwriting stands just fine on its own. But that gimmick is what puts them heads and tails above everybody else. Make no mistake about it. Very, very entertaining to watch, and to back up the amusing things happening on stage, some fantastic vocal work and fantastic music. Having said all of that, I think you might be seeing where this could be going on a scale of 1 to 10. And believe me, folks, I'm a lot tougher on my gradings now. This score is absolutely deserved. They totally and without question earned this score. I'm going to give that a 9.2. Yep, 9.2. You heard me. I didn't stutter. That is the score I felt this song and the performance deserves. I've already told you why.
Why?
I don't really see any more reason to go on about it. If you have any questions, go back and listen to what I talked about. But yeah, a 9.2. I absolutely think that is what this song deserves. Just to clarify, in case anybody was wondering, a 9.2 comes out to an outstanding, amazing, impressive scale. Take whichever one of those you want. Take all three if you want. It also equates out to a 5 out of 5 stars, and it equates out to an A letter grade. Not quite an A+. Not quite up to an A+, but an A letter grade. Solid A without question. So yeah, and I absolutely feel good about any one of those. You can take your pick, man. It all works out to the same thing. I would absolutely not mind seeing more from these guys. I was absolutely thoroughly entertained. This was fun. This was a fun watch and a fun listen to boot. Their harmonies, man, oof. I still can't get over them. Some really nice harmony work. But overall, like I said, 9.2. Yeah, I feel good about that score, and that is exactly where we're gonna stay. So let's wrap this all up in a nice pretty bow. 9.2, outstanding, amazing, impressive, 5 out of 5 stars, A letter grade. Take your pick, I don't care, whichever one of those floats your boat. Final word, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's gonna do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hopefully I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, then I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, well then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for tonight, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.